Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here. We've got some crazy Magic the Gathering news. I just had to make this video. First up, we got some alarmist news about counterfeits. Guys, this is it. It's really the big one this time. This is going to be the deflationary apocalyptic end of everything. They're indistinguishable. Oh my gosh. Oh, the foil holo stamp. They managed to make one that looks almost semi-convincing. Woo. So that's making the rounds on the internet. Unfortunately, these don't even come vaguely close to passing the green dot test. As far as I've heard, the only card heavily targeted by this new method is Jeweled Lotus. So if you're going to buy or sell one, be very, very careful and take a very close look. I'm not going to get into the green dot test. There are better articles than mine, and I'd just be copying them. Just Google it. I mean, really, the best resource is detecting-the-fakes.com. Or just Google MTG green dot test. You'll find it. Now, the last person to pull something like this was Rudy from Alpha Investments. So I don't want to make this whole video about this. I'll just give you the super high-level version of this. But I was approached on my channel by a sponsor, and I use that term loosely, who wanted me, no joke, to show off his counterfeits on my channel and mention specifically, I mean, he almost gave me a script, how unbelievably indistinguishable they were from the real cards. Wow. I can't read what I wrote back to him, but you could imagine it was really polite and civil. And then very shortly after that, Rudy from Alpha Investments made a video showing off these great new counterfeits. Oh my gosh. Wow, they're almost indistinguishable. Even he has trouble. And then somebody else got a hold of him, and then somebody else did, somebody else did, and somebody else did, and said, if you've spent more than 5 minutes around Magic cards, you can tell. Okay, they look kind of good from like across the room. That's about all you're going to get away with. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Unless they get a hold of the exact same paper, you can still scale them. And personally, I'll just pick it up and just tap on it. And like the resonance and the shockwaves going out to the edge of the card and coming back to my thumb and pointer finger, that tells me all I need to know about if a card is fake. I have never been fooled. I suppose you could say, well, that you know about, you don't know what you don't know, but I've never had like a card rejected from like a buy list. And I've caught quite a few counterfeits. So as long as you know the real test, not the bend fold test or whatever that just, oh, we found out by destroying the card. Oh, that's useful. Oh, the crease test, I think it's called. And then you can go and sell it as near mint, but with a crease. Shout out to Dave, you're a legend. Plus you got like the flashlight test for the blue core and the texture pattern, and just, if you have a flashlight, a jeweler's loop or a microscope, or functioning nerves in your finger, or all three, you are not going to get fooled by a high-end card if you put 2 minutes into checking it out. So every time you see some clickbait headline about, oh, this is the end, these are the most amazing, indistinguishable counterfeits ever, it's just alarmist nonsense. And usually at the end of the article, they tell you, yeah, well, actually, just look for this. Also, they're actually really obvious. You'd actually have to be an idiot to fall for this. So next up, Wizards just announced that they're dropping entire languages. Guess which ones? Well, let me just read the whole thing for full context here. I don't want to, say something they didn't say. As we continually evaluate our product lineup for Magic the Gathering, we have made the decision to focus on major releases in 8 core languages. As such, starting with Dominaria United, we will no longer publish Tabletop Magic in Russian, saw that coming, Korean, did not see that coming, or Chinese Traditional. I don't know the exact difference between Chinese Traditional and Simplified. I thought Traditional was like the one that all the rich people or like, I don't know, royalty or whatever. Then somebody told me, no, that's like Japanese. Then somebody else says Simplified was only Tibet and everybody else speaks, isn't it Mandarin? Whatever, I don't know. Why are there 2 versions of Chinese? If one's literally called Simplified, let's just use that one. There, that's my opinion on something I know nothing about. But Russian, okay, we can see why that is. But I'm pretty sure that the like 14 or 15 Slavic countries around them, all of them are close to it, speak Russian, don't they? Am I way off there? I could do research, but I gotta go to bed in like 20 minutes, so I just don't have time, which is why I haven't been posting, by the way. Been very stressful at work. Might even be moving jobs soon because it's getting really bad. Of course, in the next statement, WotC goes full cover mode. While we do not plan to publish Tabletop Magic in these languages, we will continue to fully support Wizards Play Network stores with WPN events and promos, so they're not cutting off like the countries or the areas, they're just cutting those because the game is dying. I'll get back to that news story in a second. But yeah, if there's a store there and they're in the WPN network, they're not just like, oh well, bye, your country's not good enough, you're not big enough, you're not worth our time, although they did just cut out their language. Speak of that, why don't they cut off French? That would really piss off the 10 people who speak French and don't speak another language and still play the game. So they say anything sent will just be English in any of the affected regions, basically. And then Magic the Gathering Arena will continue to support Korean and Russian. Now, support might not be the right term. I've covered this before, so I'm not going to go way into it, but the translators that they use with the amount of money, resources, and just like prestige and popularity and market share, however you want to put it, they could afford to put in some effort monetarily and logically to get good translators, and instead they get bad translators. There are massive, blatant, careless translation errors in pretty much every set across the board, at least since I've been playing. I mean, they give out the spoilers in multiple languages to people in multiple areas to pat themselves on the back and, oh, diversity and whatever. And then they come in with just a lowball contractor and just mistake after mistake after mistake. And remember, they're not even translating a whole book. It's just like the flavor text, the card text, and the names. How much could that possibly cost at a top-of-the-line translator? Come on. So the core languages do still include English, Japanese, Chinese Simplified, French, Italian, there I said it the stupid way, German, Spanish, and Portuguese. According to 1/3 of you in the last poll, you say Italian, okay? So go eat a bag of dragon milk if you don't like it. Comma, you guys. I'm from Wisconsin. So right after they say the core languages included are blah, 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 they immediately say, while not all products are available in all languages, it's almost completely arbitrary, by the way, too, it makes no sense, our premier sets and other ancillary releases will focus on these 8 languages. That sentence just completely undercuts its own statement. It's like, we're about to say something that's not true. We're going to focus heavily on 8 languages. So then they say Dominaria United, Magic's much anticipated return to Dominaria, releases globally September 9th. What does it have to do with the rest of anything? Nothing. I think the spoilers do start soon, and we've seen next to nothing about it. There was a product leak, and the description just confirmed what people suspected, 1 legendary per pack. Oh gee, really? Not only did you do that the last time we were in Dominaria, but every standard set is pretty much just Commander Horizons at this point. So really, you're gonna pack like 100 legendary creatures into it. Who would have thought? Let's circle back to how Magic is doing. And this comes from one of my Polish viewers. Oh wait, I think I said that wrong. Hold on, let me check my analytics real quick. Ah yes, this comes from my one Polish viewer. Seriously, all Magic channels across the board are not doing well. I heard a story from him lately, and I'm just gonna buzz through it. Just give you a picture of one place, and I've heard the same thing is happening. I've personally seen the same thing happening around me. I'm sure you have similar stories. Feel free to post them in the comment section. So they say I've been an active MTG player a few years back. I ditched the game almost entirely around the time X-Land came out. Good time to get out there, sir. I've sold 99% of my entire collection, also a very wise decision, leaving only my favorite EDH deck and Unsets Cube, switched to Warhammer 40k, and I've been enjoying it greatly. I heard that's been blown up lately, by the way. Anyway, I recently revisited my local gaming store and got some paints for my minis. The LGS owner, a very cool guy who did a lot of gaming in my region, we spoke for a while, and wow, did the Magic community in Poland suffer a major blow. And remember, store owners, they talk. Okay, they're in groups on social media. It's a whole, like, let's compare notes, WotC counter intelligence group, trust me. Oh, pardon me, groups, plural. And, I'm not saying I got eyes everywhere, but, I know some people. So Magic was especially successful in Poland. He attributes it to, like, their culture, which, sure, I don't know, sure. All I know about Polish culture is a lot of y'all came over to Wisconsin, and I love your food. So, like, the tournaments were big, the events were big, the promos were big. So, he heard from the owner that this all ended some time ago. WotC stopped organizing or supporting any forms of organized play. And even if they did, they're sending those promo cards so late, like 10 to 15 days after the event that you're supposed to give them out at. And the problem got so serious that the owner just stopped announcing those events on social media because you can't really announce the prize support and just have everybody show up and be disappointed. Now, okay, like restrictions and, the dropping of the whole pro scene during COVID and then shipping delays, and Poland's not exactly close to America. Although my understanding is the cards are printed in Europe. Still, if you ask me, all of that was like, yeah, that's not helping. The number one thing was the power creep and the inability to track what the heck is going on in Standard. It's gotten so out of control, they drove everybody away when they consciously, purposely, according to multiple staff members, upped the power level of Standard because some people were asking for that. They ruined Standard, which means they ruined the product, which means they ruined paper, and they're just blaming COVID and telling Hasbro that they're having record years while burning out the community, driving even more people away, and probably checking every day if they can get a job at a different company. That's just, I've seen it before. That's how companies like this operate, unfortunately. If you see the company going somewhere where it shouldn't go, and you know that the board, the owners, the whatever is going to be like, hey, what's going on? Come on. You cover your own butt, hit the gas, and run that car as close to the cliff as you can get, and then jump out at the last second, okay? That's just what you do if you're too stupid to fix the problem. So anyway, when this individual came into the store, it was a Saturday, middle of the day, okay? During summer vacation period in Poland, by the way. A few years back, the place would be absolutely packed with people playing Magic. He said right now, it was 2 kids trying to learn how to play Pokemon, 4 guys playing Flesh and Blood, and 3 large tables of Warhammer 40k games. I thought he was describing one of the stores I used to play at for a second there. That they don't even carry Magic products almost at all anymore. That one comics distributor and ACD, both of those getting bankrupt or bought out or kicked off the WotC product network or whatever the heck happened with all them, that killed more stores than you might think. Now there's just even more crooked, biased, self-serving, greedy distributors left. In fact, all of them. ACD was the last good one. Southern Hobby are like king of the scumbags from what I've heard and seen and experienced. But don't even get me started on that. So there's like 5 reasons, all drastic reasons that stores are doing terrible right now. And all of them are directly or indirectly or at least fixable by WotC, their fault. So he says, nobody gives a crap about MTG anymore. The game is pretty much dead at the moment. And when he asked the owner, well, what's going on? Like, is anybody still buying this? He said, it's really just come down to a bunch of whales hoarding expensive cards and showing off their binders and not even playing the game. Yeah, we all know people like that. And they don't even buy boosters since the game got so expensive in the last couple of years. Move to Eternal formats, occasionally play Commander, and show off their fancy card collections to less and less people who give a crap. Get ready for the biggest singles crash you've ever seen, by the way. If you haven't sold off your collection yet, you better. You actually already missed the train about 2 years ago when people are trying to avoid inflation. Now it's already here, and the game's already in a worse spot, so you're on the cliff. If you're holding Double Master singles as an investment, don't. Not financial advice, I'm just saying that's what I think is going to happen. Take it or leave it. Talk to an investment person about Magic. Okay, I have to say it legally. Go talk to some old guy in a suit about if you should sell your Magic collection or not. They're not a secured asset. I can probably say whatever I want about them. Oh well. So the store does still sell sealed products, but it fell from selling 20 to 30 boxes per set to 3 to 4, and the effects are devastating. But on the bright side, board games and war games are way on the rise because people are still playing something. It's not like, oh, people lost interest in hobby stuff or they're finally getting out of analog and going to digital. Nah. So thanks for notifying me of the state of things, and I've heard very similar stories from people on my Discord. By the way, I always forget to say it. My Discord is pretty much just my Patreon because I don't really post there. All the content is on my Discord. So if you use Discord and you want to support the channel, or either or, both, whatever, you can go to Patreon. I think at just about any tier listed there, you get access to my Discord server, and you can come see me post weird memes and take polls and talk about content. And give out notifications for live streams that actually work. With all the channel's been doing, I could really use it. Speaking of that, the last news story hasn't even happened yet, but oh boy, I'm gonna do it. I've got a sponsor. I need it to do well. It did not do well on my other channel, and I think they're not very happy about it. So I'm gonna see if I can drum up some sales, and it's an expensive product, but I mean, if you're not spending on WotC products, well, you probably got some money laying around, don't you? So the topic of the video, it's going to be a well-performing video. I'm going to talk about something I have refused to talk about for, let me count, approximately the entire time my channel has been up. And it is not going to be clickbait, and it is going to be worth the time to watch it. So watch for that in the very near future, maybe as soon as tomorrow, and I will see you guys next crazy Magic story. Oh, and plus, Dominaria spoilers coming up.